Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We got the handles too.
We do. This is great. Thank you, Vince Russo, for sitting in for me last week.
Yes. Bill Apter. How are you?
Yeah, that's how Apter is here. By the way, I'm very annoyed.
Why are you very annoyed, Bill Apter?
Somebody sent me a script. We are unscripted.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Boom. No scripts for us.
Here's your laugh track right there.
No scripts for us. Okay. Dr. Chris, great to see you and great to be back. And with all the interviews and everything I did at WrestleCon and WWE Media Day, I was unable to get up for this last Tuesday. It was so so I want to thank Bro Russo for sitting. And people say to me, "What, do you like that guy?" Yeah, I've never had a problem with Vince Russo, to be honest with you. In the days that he was the editor of the WWF magazine, he and I talked a lot.
Nice. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Vince Russo is he's an anomaly, man. He's one of a kind, and I
thought he was Italian.
Yeah, he's anomaly Italian mixed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got the zingers with you, man.
By the way, before we went on the air, you said, "Am I ready for any kind of action?" You love my Pedro Morales.
Yes, I'm ready for it.
I am ready for any kind of action, baby.
Yes,
I miss him.
Yes, indeed. Vince Russo, man. It's interesting because we only had a business relationship until probably about year and a half, 2 years ago. But now we're good friends, and he's just Vince Russo's a character on screen, man, and his personal Vince Russo is not the same as just controversial Vince Russo. He's just really a sweetheart of a guy. Man. He really is. Yeah.
So what I want to bring up now for the first thing is about Mommy.
Yep.
Here's what, after she put the belt down and she said, "This is it, I've got to go bye-bye into the sunset." Being a wrestling person and a journalist for so long, my first thing was, is this an angle? And I'll tell you why. Because in my opinion, no matter how excellent everyone on the female roster is, if I'm the person booking this hottest person on their roster there's no one there that can beat her. We can't put anyone in there to beat her. It's got to be like The Undertaker. It's undefeated, so to say. So I'm looking down the line of all the Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair's still out. Bayley's got her thing. Asuka's doing it. And it's going like, maybe this is a way to get her out for a few months, unbeaten, and then the tournament. But then I find out, of course, that the injury is legit.
Yeah.
So my take on this is this will make Liv Morgan even a better heel now. And she's got to win the women's title. She's got to be in this mix. She's got to win it. I always think she was just scratching the surface of superstardom and the fight fever that people are going to want to see this match between Liv Morgan and the revenge tour of Rhea Ripley. It's just going to be phenomenal. It's something that could, what did they used to say? Fill any arena anywhere around the world. Do you concur?
No.
No,
I don't.
Do you agree at least?
No, or should I say negative? I'll do a synonym with agree since you did with concur. I love how you put that. I love how you laid that out, Bill. I do respect that, man. I'm not convinced though. I'm not convinced. Not based on the way you laid it out.
Wait, convinced of what?
That's what I'm getting at. I'm not convinced that the way you laid it out. I think you laid it out very well. I'm just not convinced of the angle. I'm not convinced of. I mean, Liv Morgan. I mean, Rhea Ripley. No, really? Not as a heel. No, unless she has a heavy with her. Unless, like, if she has a heavy with her, a manager, I'll be more convinced. Like Liv Morgan, very dainty, very petite, pretty little girl. Like there's nothing about her that's intimidating.
But not on Raw last night. A few people are watching the replay. We're talking about on tax day on April 15th.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I saw like a good heelish type of change in her because I agree with the dainty thing and all that.
Yeah.
But
I'm not convinced though. I mean, like if you think about, say for instance, like Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, like the baby face being the smaller person, that's just a typical that's the typical David and Goliath, story arc. I mean, like Rhea Ripley can absolutely obliterate Liv Morgan. So like Liv Morgan being the heel in this dynamic, there's not a chase. There's not an adequate type of underdog feel. Like Rhea Ripley being the underdog in a Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley feud is just that's backwards.
But they have months to build.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me. I mean, like just Liv Morgan is she's very petite. Like Liv Morgan, if Liv Morgan was a banana peel finish capitalist, I'd be in for that because that is
explain that.
So someone who capitalizes on banana peel slip ups from heels, I'd be in for that because that makes sense to me. That makes sense for her to capitalize on a slip up of a Nia Jax or slip up of a Rhea Ripley. But just toe to toe, dynamic wise, her being the heel in this, it just doesn't matter. It makes zero sense to me. Again, if she had a heavy, that was much taller, much bigger, that was her manager, then you can have the Michaels Diesel dynamic, which I would buy much stronger than her just being by herself as a heel, as if she has the ability to hold her own against much bigger baby faces like a Raquel Rodriguez or like a Rhea Ripley, you're going to have to suspend our disbelief. That's the whole point of pro wrestling.
Yeah, of course.
You have to suspend our disbelief. It is not believable whatsoever when you're looking at Liv Morgan, when you're looking at Rhea Ripley, that Liv Morgan can last a second with her. You're going to have
they're going to build this up because the whole angle here, and from everything that I've seen online with fans talking about this, they can't wait for Rhea to come back and kick Liv's butt. So they're going to build this up for months.
I don't think they're going to build it up. If she's gone, they don't have anything to build.
Well, no, they do. They have the tournament to build up, and Liv Morgan getting her backside kicked.
They're not having a tournament. It's just a one night thing.
Well, let's say Liv Morgan is not does not win this tournament. The other change.
Well, it's just a one night thing. Like it's just there's no build. That's what I'm saying. There's no build up. Like Monday is going to determine the champion. So if Liv wins, which still wouldn't make sense to me, but if you want to give it to Liv, so be it. But again, Rhea's
got to follow that angle. They've got to follow it.
But she's gone, though, is what I'm saying. Like she won't.
I know, but they planted that. I know they planted. Rhea has got to get revenge. They planted that.
Right. So what I'm asking you is that, okay, so what's the angle? She's gone. Like Rhea Ripley's going to be gone for several months. So what is Liv Morgan going to be doing in the interim?
Well, Liv, as the champion, screw jobs her way through 10 different matches or whatever, and they built her up. All right. Well, let me ask you something as an asterisk to this. Do you think, due to the new haircut of Nia Jax, that this could be?
I haven't seen it.
What's that?
I haven't seen her new haircut.
Did you see her? Did you watch Raw?
Nia Jax?
Oh, yeah. She was on an interview and she had a new short haircut.
I saw her baptism a few days ago. That was really cool. But I didn't
baptism. See wait. What?
Yeah, she got baptized.
Okay. No. Yeah. She had
she
had a new short cropped, angrier looking haircut.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. It kind of took up her. It kind of took her heelism up a notch.
Oh, you think so? So what does that mean to you?
Well, maybe we'll get a surprise and she'll be the heel champion here. Possibility. If what you're saying is you need a real believable angry heel, she's perfect for that part. So who do you pick? Who is?
Here's the thing, man. Let me explain. Just like this is what disconnects me from pro wrestling 2024, man. I'm not interested in just random matches. I'm not interested in just random title changes. I'm not interested in just throwing someone with someone. I am not interested in that whatsoever. That is such a waste of time to me. That is what is depleting the overall interest of the product. I'm not a pro wrestling mark. I'm just not in. I wouldn't call myself a casual fan. I call myself a bridge fan. I know the pulse of casuals. I know the pulse of hardcores. I'm not either one of them. I grew up all of my life watching pro wrestling. I respect the business. My great grandma, I've shared this story many times. She was right behind me with her cane. She said it was real. She would throw it to the TV.
Not?
So I didn't know it was with the pro wrestling fix. I didn't know it was broken. Right? Is it real? If you would ask my great grandma about 30 years ago, she would have said yes. But I watched wrestling in honor of my great grandma. So I will always forever be loyal to pro wrestling because of her, in honor of her. But when it comes to 2024, I'm not interested in random matches for wrestling, period. So if
that's not what I'm asking you.
So if you're saying something like okay, so what about Liv Morgan winning this, and then she kind of, if it's not a story behind it,
who would you pick for the story so that it's strong enough for when Rhea Ripley comes back?
Well, the start for starters, that's the issue. There's not, like, knowing that the WWE is not going to build a good story behind it. This is what I would do.
Okay.
I would have Rhea come back out one more time or one more week. I would have Rhea get written off by a Liv Morgan attack, and then I would have Dom come in and appear that he's about to save, and then he turns on Rhea Ripley, and Dom aligns with Liv Morgan.
Oh, that's a great idea. I like that. That would be that would be perfect. I like that. WWE, the man. I love it. I think that's a great idea. I think there's going to be a lot of changes now with the Judgment Day as well, with her gone and Damian Priest holding the World Championship. What I would like to see, and we're talking hypothetically right now, is with all the trouble going on with the Bloodline, I'd like to see Paul Heyman align himself with Damian Priest at this point. I think it would make Priest even a much stronger champion, much stronger heel champion. He's got it. He's there, but I still think he needs a little step up higher, and I think Paul Heyman with him would be really excellent.
See, here's the thing with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is amazing as far as his mic work is concerned. Really, really good. I respect the heck out of his ability. And
he was a hell of a photographer, by the way, too.
He was. You would know that as a fellow photographer. Yes, indeed. So here's my issue with Paul Heyman, what I've seen from a history of Paul Heyman. So with Paul Heyman, he's really good, but he's so good that he oftentimes overshadows someone who isn't bigger than him character-wise. If you go through the history of Paul Heyman guys, so to speak, you have people who were bigger than him and it worked. Brock Lesnar was bigger than Paul Heyman. CM Punk was bigger than Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns, bigger than Paul Heyman. Kurt Angle, Big Show, all those names bigger than Paul Heyman, they worked because their characters was not shrouded by Paul Heyman. But when you think of people like Cesaro and Curtis Axel and Ryback, like those people that were Paul Heyman guys, even Matt Morgan, you know what I mean? Like, although Matt Morgan did fantastic in TNA, any person with Paul Heyman that was managed by Paul Heyman in the WWE that didn't have a character that was bigger than he was, oftentimes got overshadowed by him. Like every single person did. So I think that unfortunately Damian Priest would be get bit by the same bug.
Okay.
Because I don't think Damian Priest's character is bigger than Paul Heyman whatsoever. So I think that he would get overshadowed by him. I think he would get bit by that bug too.
Okay. Interesting.
I do think with Priest, I wish that WWE spends more time making him bigger than what they book him, because he's got it, man. He looks like $1 million. He looks like a star. He's got the look. He's got the ability. Mic work, I think there's a little bit more.
Needs to be a little more fierceness.
Yeah, I think there's some room and improvement there. But
I interviewed him, which was run on WrestleBinge, and we talked about his hero was Scott Hall, and that he said that Scott Hall actually gave him permission to use the Razor's Edge. So he's got a really good idol to live up to, so to say, because the minute I saw him, even in the Indies, way back when at the Monster Factory, he had that whole Scott Hall thing going for him. A little different. He was his own person, but you could tell traces of Razor Ramon in his work.
Yeah, I noticed him. I got hip to him in ROH when he was Punishment Martinez. So that was 16, 17, around there, 7-8 years
somewhere
ago.
around there,
yeah, he was pretty good. I mean, he was good at that time. He's good now, So I'm for it. I just think that they need to do a better job because I mean, you're thinking, and this is a good way to segue into another conversation. Another topic, rather. So after 18 straight shows of selling out crowds, the streak ended yesterday, and numbers are starting to come down too, as far as ratings is concerned, which I thought was going to happen.
Are you talking about the live gate in Canada?
Yeah. Montreal broke the streak, didn't sell out. So and on top of that, Cody's segment was the first segment since I think COVID era that the Universal Champion didn't have the highest segment. The highest segment was the Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga debut. So,
wait, wasn't that SmackDown?
For SmackDown,
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're talking about last
I'm
Friday.
talking about both. Yeah. It's kind of two. So my point in all this is the number, like the feel, the overall feel for WWE over the past 2 weeks has noticeably decreased. And as far as numbers is concerned, as far as gate is concerned, what do you attribute that to as far as just a decline in interest already 2 weeks removed?
Well, I don't think it's a decline in interest. I think it's the whole, WrestleMania finished. So it was great the day after, the Monday Raw. And now it just kind of calms down and goes back to its normal high level, if you know what I'm saying. I don't think there's a decrease.
So how is that not a decline in interest if the numbers are dwindling?
I don't think it's a decline in interest. I just think people just, we had 2 weeks of great WrestleMania hype. We had WrestleMania. Now, let me take a break for a week or two.
So business-wise, how is that not a decline in interest?
Well, I don't know if are you using the word interest? I don't know if it's interest or it's just people.
Numbers-wise. I'm saying like numbers-wise. Yeah. It's a decline in interest because the numbers.
Yeah, I can probably because the angles coming out of WrestleMania are not totally clear at this point.
Precisely.
Probably what it is.
Yeah. Why do you think that? Why do you think the WWE would not have something planned out, knowing that The Rock is going to be gone, knowing that Cody's going to win the championship? Why do you think that the WWE didn't have this planned out, knowing that there would be a decline in interest or decline?
I can't answer that because
What's your opinion?
What's my opinion?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have an opinion on it, Dr. Chris.
Okay.
It's kind of a mystery.
It's a mystery.
But I think it's going to come back. I think right now, they're overly getting ready for the European tour. They're going to England this week. They've got a lot of international stuff, so maybe that's taking up. I really can't put my finger on it. Maybe somebody's mother is saying you're watching too much wrestling. Stop for a week.
That could be it.
I don't know.
I just think that they just didn't have it planned. I just think that it went back.
I think they're clever enough to have a plan, but not every plan works.
I don't agree with that. I think that we see it. I think that we've seen it. I mean, I think that, think about this for a second, Bill. You had one of the most exciting, intriguing builds in a long time, with this WrestleMania 40 build. You had The Rock there at your leisure, at your beck and call for better part of 2 months. And you had Roman Reigns there, long streak, things like that. But the problem I see is that who in the world is at the level of a Rock or Roman Reigns that would make it the same level of interest? And I would attribute that to the lack of WWE building characters.
Yeah, there's not that guy yet.
Right. And I think there could have been many opportunities for it to be the guy, because if you think about it, WWE has one of the best. I mean, like 2024 WWE could go as far as level of talent, like they could go toe to toe with any generation as far as the level of talent on backstage in the roster. And so it's not a lack of talent in the WWE. There's plenty of talented wrestlers that's able to do very well and have done very well. I just think that the storylines are very weak, across the board.
They're not doing enough with Drew McIntyre right now. They should. Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, man. Like you got someone who's red hot on the mic. You've got someone who's at his arguably his prime. Yep. And he's got zingers for days. He's starting to be that kind of like that cool heel type of deal that he's going to probably sooner than later be turned.
They should have kept the belt on him. They should have kept the belt on him.
I see. I'm with you there, man. I'm with you there. I think that they should have. I don't think, because it continues to make Drew look like the weak person out of the bunch. And I think if there's anybody, if there's anybody on the roster that you need to protect the most, it's Drew McIntyre. I mean, like you have someone who's loyal to the company, who's there every week, who clocks in, hey, what's on the docket for the day, and good on the mic, really good in the ring, strong character, looks like $1 million, like committed to the business, doesn't call off. Like you have someone who's there, right, for the company. Protect the guy, not have him lose twice to Seth Rollins and then finally beat Seth Rollins and lose the belt 5 minutes later. Why in the world would you do that to someone like Drew McIntyre?
And I'm just hoping that they're not thinking that there's money in Drew McIntyre against Sheamus again for the 900.
I'm with you there too, man. I'm with you there. I don't want to see that. I'm not interested.
Neither do I.
I'm not interested.
Neither do
I. I do see what I think probably would happen. My prediction is that Drew will get the belt back against Priest at the Scotland pay-per-view in June. Because that's his hometown.
I'm hoping the same thing.
I'm with you, man. And I because at the end of the day, I do think it's going to be Drew versus Punk for the title at SummerSlam.
Oh, I think that'll be red hot.
Yeah, and I think that'd be cool too. I think don't do a title change though. I would keep it on Drew. Stretch that thing out, man. I mean, Punk's injured. You can do some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Have Punk win it at Royal Rumble. Like, don't have Punk win it at SummerSlam. Give us the suspense. Give us the shock. A lot of people think Punk was probably going to win. Shock us by having Drew retain, and then what you do is
he doesn't have the belt yet.
No, I'm saying if he wins it in June, so he wins it in June, and then that launches, a more, that ups the stake as far as the Drew Punk. Punk could be ready by SummerSlam. Then you have the belt. Then people are thinking that CM Punk's going to win. Drew, he retains.
I agree.
More shirts, even more funny Twitter post. And then you can stretch it out, another 5 months to the Royal Rumble, have CM Punk win at that time.
They're not playing Drew right, but maybe they have a reason for it. I don't know.
So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to push my chips and put my stock in WWE creative, man. They've let me down quite a bit. And
night two of WrestleMania was excellent. That night
and that's the thing. I put WrestleMania night 2 over just tremendously. Yeah. I think the match of the night for me was Sami Zayn Gunther. I think that match was amazing. I really liked the match. Yeah. I love the underdog. I mean that David and Goliath story. It's pretty much foolproof, man. the story, the underdog story tells itself. Like there's not a lot of build that you need to put in an underdog story.
It's natural. It's natural.
It's foolproof. It tells itself, and you don't have to do a lot. And I think even in that match, we saw it. It was good. I liked it a lot. I put across my Twitter feed, I put WrestleMania over tremendously. There, even before the WrestleMania, when The Rock was there, put it over tremendously. So when WWE produces good content, I'm going to put it over because I want to. I get paid to talk about wrestling. I want to enjoy when I'm watching.
Wait a minute, you get paid?
Yeah, I do, man. I meant to tell you that. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. You do too. Yes, indeed.
Do we have time for this other new feature that I'm bringing periodically to UnSKripted?
Of course we do. For you, man. For you.
So it's live. So every once in a while, I do interviews that because of all the hundreds of interviews Sportskeeda gets every week. Sometimes there's no chance to run something, even though it might be important. It just might be, well, there's something else in that spot already.
Yeah.
So at WrestleCon, I want to thank Michael from High Spots for letting me do my thing at WrestleCon. And you've been to WrestleCons before.
I have. Yeah.
You and I were together on our trip. I had a chance about 10 or 12 hours before Cody night 1 to interview his mother.
Yes.
Hello,
indeed.
Mama Rhodes. Why don't we take a look at this that has never been seen before on Public Anything?
If you will. Public.
If you would, baby.
Public. If
Me interviewing Cody's mom. Just another feature. We may do this every few weeks, depending upon if we have time. But ready when you are, Dr. Chris.
Yes,
Mama
indeed.
Rhodes, come on down.
Yes, indeed. Okay, let's see here.
If not, I'm going to bring it back next.
I got you, Mama Rhodes. Boom. All right,
All right. Here we go.
Let me know if you can hear that.
Hello, everyone, at WrestleCon.
You hear it? Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's echoing. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I've got a lady here who you all know, Michelle Reynolds.
Michelle Rhodes, Mama Rhodes.
Right, Mama Rhodes. And this is probably,
echo.
God, about 8 or 9 hours.
You said it's an echo?
There's an echo on it that's not on the original.
Okay, hold on, here we go.
But it's still hearable.
Before WrestleMania. Your son Cody has set the world on fire, by the way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely set the world on fire. Now, The Rock has become a Dwayne Rock Johnson that I have never seen before. He seems angrier. He seems more furious with everything. When you first saw this and directed at Cody, tell us what your thoughts were. Look out there and tell everybody.
Well, I was surprised. I thought it was a bit harsh.
Yeah, it was.
But my son's going to make it all worthwhile this weekend at WrestleMania 40. So I'm not worried about The Rock.
You're not.
He's not gonna hurt me.
You hear that?
He's not gonna hand me a bloody belt. None of that. It's not gonna happen.
So you're not smelling what he's cooking?
No, I'm not smelling what The Rock is cooking.
So now my other question is, that night what he took him out back and he bloodied the hell out of your son.
Beat him up.
Yeah, what? Now I know you saw that happen to your husband a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
How did you react this time? Must have been horrifying.
Yeah, scared. Just wanted to make sure he wasn't hurt, permanently.
Yeah.
Hurt or scarred.
Yes, but I guess that from watching his dad all these years, something like that's it's almost expected.
I guess,
If Dusty was looking down right now, and I know he is, what's he saying about Cody Rhodes?
He's saying Cody's going to win. Cody is going to win. He's going to finish his story at WrestleMania 40.
Can I give it to him? Do you mind? Can I do that? All my little babies, my son Cody Rhodes tonight and the next night is going to beat the living daylights
out of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, and along with Seth Rollins, he's going to be boogieing down Philadelphia, right, baby?
That's right.
If you will. All right, you cut it off, cameraman. That's it.
There you go.
So yeah, that's something that's never been shown before, and we tried to fit it in before WrestleMania, but we never got around to it. So, like I said, periodically, I'd love to do some of these interviews that were never seen before, right here on something that is totally not scripted.
That's right. That's right. Bill, take us home, man. Where can we find you? What are your closing thoughts?
Well, at X at Apter One Wrestling, and I just think wrestling, WWE, AEW, they ebb and flow, so I think things will come back, but they're still making $1 zillion.
All right, this guy right here is Bill Apter. I'm Dr. Chris. This is Unscripted. Have a good night, buddy.
We'll see you at the matches.
So long.